Hello everyone and thank you for tuning into TradeChat. My name's Panzer and today we're going to be talking about the top 9 best things about Legion. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you do, remember to rate it thumbs up. Number 9 is the Emerald Dream, which I guess is just the Emerald Nightmare, but once you defeat the Emerald Nightmare, it is returned to its uncorrupted, dreamlike state. Cenarius is returned to his physical body, and all the other corrupted bosses are cleansed, and their spirits can be found roaming around. There's a little cave, and inside it there is a remnant of the Void Flower. If you happen to be a Shadow Priest, your artifact dagger is going to warn you of an imminent threat, which you must soon defeat. It could be an old god, it could be Sargeras, it could be Chris Metzen. Maybe this is the reason he retired. I don't know. Another really cool little hidden thing in the Emerald Dream are these large stone statues that you can find, and they're actually original textures back from 2008 when it was first being toyed with that the Emerald Dream could be a zone or something, which, I don't know, I think it's pretty cool. Number 8 is Dalaran, because it's freaking Dalaran. Like, everybody loved Dalaran back in Wrath of the Lich King. It's obviously a very important place in the game lore since they keep picking it up and moving it along with us. It's like the camper of Azeroth, but it is amazing. It has been fully graphically rehauled, so it's got all these new textures and it's updated for current graphics. It is so awesome, and it gives me so many nostalgic feelings. Plus, in Legion, it essentially functions as a profession order hall, which is mighty convenient. Number 7 is World Quest, and specifically the variety that World Quests give us, because with World Quest we are given so many choices of things to do. We have all different choices of what types of quests we want to do, choices of which rewards we want to do, which zones we want to go to, plus it keeps all of those zones relevant. Like, all these developers and designers worked so hard on this brand new zone, and we're actually going out and seeing it on a daily basis. It's not obsolete once we hit max level. Then you've got your emissaries, which give you a chance at bonus things, plus the rotating world boss, world quest type things. Very cool. I am such a huge fan of everything that World Quests have brought to the table, because it just gives people so much incentive to go out, to do stuff. If you're even like a healer, you can just do healer things, and if you're near those wanted quests, you know, for the wardens, like, you're gonna be able to just mooch off of a group and just throw a couple heals out there and get credit for it. I don't know, I really like World Quest. I think they were a fantastic addition to the game, and they were such a good evolution of World Quest in the way that World Quest worked, and 10 out of 10 would recommend, yes. Number 6 is scaling content, and I mean all of the scaling content. I think scaling content on the Broken Isles is so well done, and there's so many reasons why it's beneficial. Like, the big one for me is that you don't out-level zones, so it feels like so good to be a completionist and do all of the side quests, because you're getting the same experience. Like, you're not gimping yourself by going and picking up all the treasures and doing all the rares and doing all the side quests. It's so worth doing all of the things, and it feels so much more rewarding to do them as the enemies are leveling up with you and stuff too. It's not getting to the point where it's like, oh, this is so easy and nothing I'm getting is worthwhile. I just think it's so well done. Plus, you can play with your friends even if they aren't the same level as you. You guys can still group up and play together, and somehow, even if one of you is 101 and one of you is 109, that works. I don't understand how that works, but trust me, it works. And then you've got like Mythic Plus dungeons, which are essentially scaling dungeons, which is amazing. I am such a big fan of scaling in Legion, and I think it's one of the best things the game has to offer. Number 5 is the meaningful rewards which Legion brings to the table, and I think this was one of the big failures in Warlords of Draenor, and it is an equally big win in Legion, because back in Warlords, like, people said there was nothing to do, but what they really meant was the things that there are to do not provide me anything that feels worth doing. So, like, yeah, you could grind out a lot of rep to get a transmog helmet, or you could grind out a bunch of Apexis crystals to get a recolored mount, or you could grind out this to get gear that wasn't as good as Alphart. Just none of the content that they put in game seemed like a valuable use of your time. Whereas on the flip side, in Legion, it's like you want to do everything, because everything is a valuable use of your time. It's like nearly anything that you do in the game is giving you artifact power or order hall resources, and with those two things, you're kind of always accomplishing something. Then when it comes to like gear, anything that's a personal loot that isn't an upgrade, you can trade to someone else, which feels good, especially if you're in like a guild group. And then even if the thing that you're working towards isn't necessarily an upgrade for you, there's always the chance that it could proc to be Warforged or Titan Forged or Chris Metzen Forged. I don't know, it's very exciting. exciting. Oh, and you could just get a random world drop legendary anytime. Who knows? You never know. As long as your name is not Panzer and you don't play a Resto Shaman, then you could get a legendary, because otherwise you're SOL. I'm so sorry. Then all of the toys and pets and like there's so many cool rewards that you can get from treasures and rares that I didn't see nearly as much of in previous expansions, which I very, very much appreciate. And then you've got like Mythic dungeons and Mythic Plus dungeons where you have a chance of getting really good gear. Mythic Plus obviously levels up a little bit as you go. Plus, at the end of the week, Mythic Plus, you'll get a chest. I don't know why I'm describing it as being this big. Like in the game, it's the size of your character, but you get a chest and it will contain a piece of gear based on your furthest progress in Mythic Plus from the week before. So it's like a guaranteed piece of loot, which incentivizes doing at least one Mythic Plus a week. I don't know. I feel like there are so many good rewards that it's just anything you do feels like you're making some sort of progress, and I really like that. Number 4 is class focus, which I think is done better in Legion than any other expansion. I mean, for God's sakes, the whole start of the expansion is getting your artifact weapon, which is unique to every class and spec. Then you go to your class order hall where you're surrounded by people that are the same class as you. You're surrounded by lore figures, all of the architecture, or if you're a shaman, the rocks. All of your surroundings are very class-centric. And then the whole class order hall campaign, your class quest campaign, that's different for every single class. So that in turn makes leveling alts more fun because your alts are having this different experience that your main didn't have. I really, really appreciate all of the class type stuff. I feel like in the past I never like identified like I'm a shaman, right? Like I'm Will Shatner, I'm a shaman. Like that wasn't me. I don't know. I've switched mains a lot, and I feel like Legion has made me connect more with my character as a shaman, and I feel very shaman-like. And I find myself wanting my transmog to reflect that I'm a shaman, and I want my mount to reflect that I'm a shaman. I'm a friggin' shaman, gosh darn it! And I live in the rocky maelstrom, and I don't know. There's so many little bits and pieces and quirks to order halls, like shamans, for instance. I play shaman. If you didn't catch that, I play shaman. Shamans, for instance, have like this mini game that's played with totems, and I know that druids have like a little pet that they can get that's a tree. I just like all of the little touches that are class specific. I like that you can buy class specific toys from your order hall guy. I don't know, the focus on class stuff is really cool, and it makes everyone's experience a little bit different. And I think that in a game where you've got millions of people playing, I think being able to make people feel like they're getting an individual experience is such a valuable thing to provide. Number 3 is the lore of Legion, and just to TLDR it from you, basically, demons are invading Azeroth, so we hightail it to the Broken Isle, where we, like, wrangle up some ancient, super powerful artifact weapons so that we can go team up with Illidan and his posse of demon hunter bros to defeat Sargeras. Just no big deal. Casual, no big deal. Now, I know that TLDR provided all of the information that you need to know about Legion's lore, but what I think is even cooler is that it is a non-linear questing experience, so it doesn't matter if you do Ajuna first or last. It doesn't matter if you do High Mountain second or fourth. It doesn't matter, like, the order in which you choose to do each zone doesn't matter at all, because they all have their individual stories, which will lead you to the same ending. It's not about the climb. It's about the journey. Wait. It's the climb. I give up. There's a Miley Cyrus analogy to be made there. I gave you all of the tools. Do what you will with them. So all that being said, there are also a bunch of really cool lore characters in Legion that we haven't seen in a long time. And these are like beloved, well-liked characters that people feel like they can relate to, that have been in the lore for years and years and years and years. And it's exciting to see them sort of taking center stage. I'm talking about, like, obviously Illidan, Malfurion, Tyrande, Sylvanas, Gen Greymane, Ysera, Cenarius, Khadgar. There's a lot. There are a lot. And a lot of these characters are sort of that misunderstood type, like Illidan, is he good, is he bad, like, do people know what his deal is? We don't know. Or Sylvanas was obviously misunderstood a lot, and the Alliance still doesn't really understand her, but I think these are characters that people really identify with and connect with, and that really sets a tone for them to be so much more invested in the story, and if they're invested in the story, they're going to be invested in the game. So I think that all of the lore choices so far have been really good, and I think that people are responding to them very, very well. Number 2 is future content, and I know we are not supposed to count our boomkins before they hatch, but I'm counting them, man. I'm counting them because one of the biggest complaints that people had about Warlords of Draenor was the lack of content, though I have always argued that it wasn't a lack of content, it was pacing and rewards involved with that content, because if they had just released it at a different rate and had a little bit more rewarding rewards, I think people wouldn't have been quite so unhappy. But that is neither here nor there, because what's coming in Legion seems amazing. We've already obviously heard about Karazhan, which is a continuation of the raid we all know and love back from Burning Crusade. It's going to be a 5-man, like, epic dungeon that's sort of like Mythic, I guess, or like a different difficulty than Mythic. I don't know. It looks awesome. It's got a bunch of bosses. They're all like new. They're not just like, oh, here's the same boss, just reskinned, or they are all new encounters, and we're still going to have Old Karazhan, and there's an attunement quest to do it. I don't know, man. Seems real cool. I am very, very excited for Kara. Coming at the same time as Karazhan is the new raid Trial of Valor, which is going to have 3 bosses. And what I'm most excited for this is that I think this is going to be one of those things where people are raiding 2 different raids a week, which is when is the last time that happened? Like, I remember back in the day, you would do Gruul, Mag, and like Karazhan all in the same week. Like, that was a normal thing to do. Or in Wrath of the Lich King, you would do, come on. The boss's name was... It was in Wintergrasp. It was the one that was in Wintergrasp, which I can't think of. I feel like I keep wanting to call it, like, I know Archivon was one of the bosses. This is not helpful. Anyways, back in Wrath of the Lich King, we had a couple raids that we would do at the same time, and we haven't done that in so long, and I think that's such a nice, diverse thing for raid teams, so I'm really excited and looking forward to the potential of running, you know, maybe 2 nights in Emerald Nightmare and 1 night here. Maybe by that time we'll only need 1 night in Emerald Nightmare and 1 night in Trials of Valor. Plus, there's a little quest line that's leading up to Trials of Valor, and the raid itself is going to wrap up the Stormheim storyline, so there's a lot to be excited for there, and that's coming pretty soon. That's already on the PTR with Kara. Then, of course, we have the 7.1 raid Nighthold, which is coming in early 2017. This is the first tier raid of the expansion, and people are beyond excited. Not about the tier. I mean, maybe they're excited about the tier, but they're mostly excited because this is essentially Suramar, the raid. You know, if Suramar was a raid, it would be Nighthold. And there's like 8 or 9 weeks of campaign quests leading up to the raids. You're going to get tons of new story, tons of new stuff to do to get there. And then once you're there, you get to kill Gul'dan. There's so many wins in this situation. It's unreal. Of course, we also know the future is going to be bringing us new world events, new world quests, new world bosses. Things are just real exciting for the future of World of Warcraft, and we're so early in the expansion to already have all this information. It feels like we heard about Kara and we're like, wow, we already know things, and then we heard about, they just keep telling us stuff, and we're just like, we haven't even gotten the other stuff yet. This is great, and I hope that keeps happening because it tickles me right in the fancy, I'll tell you what. And the number one best thing about Legion is the whistle item. And if you disagree with me, you can go ahead and unsubscribe now because the whistle is friggin' awesome and is so convenient and I love it, and I just want it to work everywhere. The whistle is the best thing ever. The whistle is the reason that you don't hear people complaining about flying right now because it's super convenient. You just go do your world quest and you whistle away, and then you go do another quest and then you whistle away because it's got such a short cooldown that you can use it almost every single time you're done with a world quest. And I have nothing bad to say. I like the whistle. The whistle is real good. And that's it, guys. This was my list of the best things in World of Warcraft Legion. If I missed something, let me know in the comment section below, or if you disagree or agree, I don't know, tell me your thoughts. Just tell me your thoughts in the comment section because I love reading your comments. And if you enjoyed the video, please thumb it up and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. I am going to go. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Happy questing. I will see you soon. I love you all. You're in my hearts. I'll see you soon. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.